Okay everybody, we're going to be making a WordPress theme from scratch. We're going to start with a Dreamweaver template and then turn that into, so I'm going to start up Dreamweaver here. We're going to turn this into a WordPress theme. So the way that I got my site set up in Dreamweaver, here it is. You can see I have the root directory specified to the wp-content-themes directory, so that when I connect to the remote server, you can see that it actually goes right into the wp-content/themes directory. So we're going to be putting files directly to that location. So the way that we start off is by, on the local view, we're going to create a new folder for our theme. That wasn't right. New folder. Here we go. Now we're going to call this Hot Girls Tub Theme. Okay, now inside of that folder I'm going to go up to File, New, and we're going to create a new HTML template. We'll make it a PHP file, and we'll make it a 3-column header and footer. So we're going to have a header, a footer, a left navigation area, and a right navigation area. We're going to change the doc type to HTML 4.01 transitional, because that seems to be the standard nowadays. And for the layout, CSS, we're going to create a new file. Now it is important that when you're creating a WordPress theme that the style sheet must be called style.css. So when I hit create, it's going to ask me, where do you want to put this file? Now I want to put it inside of my Hot Girls Tub theme directory, and I want to call it style.css. So if I refresh in Dreamweaver now with this refresh button, you'll see that I have a style.css, and you see that I got a new working template here file. It hasn't been saved yet, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. And we'll also save it inside of the Hot Girls Tub theme directory, and we're going to call it index.php. Okay, so one of the requirements for a WordPress theme, when you're creating a WordPress theme, is that the style sheet, it must contain a certain header. And I'll show you what I mean by this. WordPress themes development. So I'm just going to go to the development site here, and if you scroll down to theme style sheet, you're going to see here's the big comment. You can copy this code here and put it directly into your Dreamweaver at the top of your style sheet. Now WordPress is going to read this information into WordPress themes, and it's going to use that for the theme. So I'm going to change some of this information. So it's going to be called Hot Girls Tub Theme. The theme URI is going to be hotgirlstub.com. The description, you can just put anything there. This is a new theme. Author, you can put your name there. For the author URI, you can just change that to anything that you want, the URL. I'm just going to put it to hotgirlstub.com. Version 1.0. Now here you can add some tags, and that's useful if you ever submit your theme to the WordPress database. I'm not going to be doing that, so I'm going to get rid of the license URI as well, and the license, and the general comments as well. So all we have so far is this block of comment up here. This must be inside of your style.css file at the top, otherwise WordPress will not be able to locate it. So the first things first, I'm going to upload this theme to my web host. So I'm gonna go put, and I'm just gonna say yes to that. Now this takes a little while. There it goes. Okay, so now if I go to my blog at hotgirlstub.com, you'll see nothing has changed. But if I go to the WP admin area to log in as the administrator, I'm going to try to see if that theme shows up. I'll just put this on so I don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so I'm logged in and I go to Appearance and then Themes. And there you have it. Hot Girls Tub theme is showing up right here. Now the reason it doesn't have a screenshot yet is because I didn't create one. Now WordPress looks for screenshot.ping inside of your WordPress theme directory. So let's go ahead and create that. WordPress theme screenshot size. I just want to get the size real quick. Okay, so here we have it. It's 300 by 225. So inside of Photoshop, oh yeah, by the way, this is going to be my header image for my blog. I was working on that before I started this video. 300 by 225. That's correct. Okay, so we're just going to put some text in here, and we're going to call it Hot Girls Tub Theme. Nothing fancy, just Hot Girls Tub Theme. And what we'll do is we'll save that ping image. We'll go save for web. We'll choose ping 24. We'll hit save and it'll ask us where you want to save it. I'm going to go into my websites directory, Hot Girls Tub Theme, and I'm going to save it right here as screenshot.ping. So if I go back to my Dreamweaver and refresh, you'll see screenshots there. Now I'm going to put that on the server. So that takes a couple of seconds to do. I'm going to pause the video while it uploads. Okay, that finished uploading. So if I go to my WordPress blog again, back here, manage themes, I still got no screenshot, but if I refresh the page, there it goes. Now I got a screenshot. So we're at the very start of creating our theme. If I click on the theme and it tries to load my theme, you're going to notice that it looks pretty ugly. I'm going to go ahead and activate that, and then we'll fix the problems. Okay, so that theme has been applied. So if I actually go to my Hot Girls Tub site, it looks pretty horrible. The first thing that's wrong is the style sheet URL isn't loading. And if we go to view source, we can see that it's trying to load style.css right off the root directory, which isn't where we locate, which isn't the location of that file. The location of that file is actually inside of my theme directory, and WordPress has a special function for finding out that path. So I'll show you that now. If we go to WordPress functions, we got one that's called blog info somewhere. Actually, I'm going to add the word blog info here on my search. Here it is. Okay, blog info is a function for WordPress. It's used like this, and it takes any one of these strings. We're going to use this style sheet directory, no, style sheet URL function to get that to work. So if we use blog info and then pass in style sheet URL, that should work. So if we go to our source code And just copy that other line. Hey, I'm going to paste this here for a sec. If I copy this line and then take this out, and for the style sheet URL, if we just break into PHP and then paste that, we have to put blog info around it. Blog info, because it's a function. Just like that. That should actually solve the problem. So I'm going to go ahead and upload my index file again after saving those changes. And if I go back to my WordPress blog and refresh, we'll see if it's working now. Yeah, the style sheet is actually loading now. And if we go to the page source, you can see that there's the first style sheet. That one is not working. But the second one, because of that blog info function, it outputted the path to my theme directly to my style sheet. So that's the first problem. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put my new header image that I created up here. And we're going to get rid of this logo. We're going to get rid of this nav bar. We're going to change the colors on the theme itself. So if I go to the actual theme inside of Dreamweaver here, I can just click on this insert logo and get rid of it. Then I can go to source code, and underneath that you got the sidebar. We're going to get rid of that sidebar as well. Now we got all this text in here. We're going to get rid of that. That was in the sidebar one. In the content area we got all of this text. We're going to get rid of that as well. Sidebar 2, we're going to get rid of everything in there. And for the footer, we're going to get rid of everything in there. So now it looks much easier. You could easily identify where everything is. And if you want to add your own stuff at this point, you can. So if I go to design view, you're going to see it looks pretty horrible. If I go back to my style sheet, there's a few changes that I want to make before we start. The first thing is I'm going to put an asterisk, and then I'm going to create a rule for the asterisk. And that asterisk is a wildcard. It means apply these rules to all the styles on this page. And so I'm just going to 0 the padding and 0 the margin. Okay, there we go. It's kind of like a CSS reset, but it's just a quick little way to do it. So that will, if this web page looks different across web browsers like Internet Explorer, Firefox, Opera, Conqueror, those kind of web browsers, setting your margin to 0 and your padding to 0 on all your elements is going to get rid of any default padding that was put there by the web browser by default on any of your elements on your entire web page. So that's a good thing to do. I use it and it works well. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all the background colors on the entire page. On every single element, we're going to get rid of all the background colors. And you should note here on the container that the width is 960 pixels. Before I created this video tutorial, I created a header for my web page, and I made sure that the width of that header image was 960 pixels, and then I specified 200 for the height. You could use any number, any size for your background header. For your header. So I'm just getting rid of all these background colors. It's on the footer, it's everywhere. We got another background color here. Alright, so if I save that and go back to design view, now you should just see a white page. That's what we want to start off with. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my header image. Here it is on the desktop, this logo.ping. It's called Hot Girls Tub. It says Hot Girls Tub, and it says articles and information. Now the dimensions of this, like I said before, is 960 width by 200 height. So I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to go directly into my website's Hot Girls Tub folder, right into my theme, and I'm going to paste this image right in there. Now, what I'm going to do in the style sheet for the header, I'm going to give it a height of 200 because that's the size of my image. So if I go height colon 200 pics, that should work. And I'll save that and go to design view. So that looks like it'll fit in there, the image. Now if I go back to my style sheet and I background image background image, and I browse and I select that logo, then I put a semicolon to finish that off, save. There we go. So now we got a header loaded up, we got a left sidebar, a right sidebar, a content area, and a footer. I'm going to change the page color to match that blue. So in Photoshop, this is the blue color here. I can just copy that hash, and now in my style sheet, in my style sheet at the very top, the body, I can put a background color on there. Background color, and I'll just choose one of these for a sec, then I'll change it. There we go. So now the background color should come out blue, so it matches the header. So that's what we're going to be working with right now. I'm going to go ahead and upload that and see how that looks on the website. Okay, there we go. So if I refresh the website, you're going to see that everything's blue and the header's in there. Now there's a little bit of cutoff on the glow effect that I have on the tub. I'll fix that later. I can do that in Photoshop. I just have to nudge the tub and the girl up a few inches, not inches, few millimeters, and save that, and that will fix that problem. Because you got like kind of like these flat lines here, which really doesn't look good. Anyway, that's not a problem. Inside of the next thing we're going to do inside of our theme is we're going to use a couple of functions, WordPress functions, inside of our sidebars. Now I've already decided that on the left side I want the pages to appear, WordPress pages. On the right side I want the WordPress categories to appear. In the footer I just want the date and the word copyright. So let's go ahead and get started and add that. So sidebar 1, we want the pages. So we're going to break into PHP here and use another WordPress function. This one's called WP get pages, I think. Let me just check that out. Get pages. Oh, WP list pages. There we go. WP list pages is actually what we want. So I'm just going to copy that, put that in here, and then we're going to close that function. Now in the sidebar 2 we want the categories, so that should be WP list categories. WP list categories is what it's called. So you're going to list the categories on that side. So I'll put that there. You've got to break into PHP first. Get rid of this. And in the footer, I want to display the current date, no, the current year, and the word copyright, hotgirlstub.com. So I'm going to break into PHP for this, and I'm going to echo out the date functions Y, which stands for year. So that will get the year, and then I'll add copyright. No, I'll put that before in a paragraph. Paragraph, copyright, and then it breaks into PHP, gets the date, and then it's hotgirlstub.com. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to upload my index file now. There we go. And we'll see what that does. I refresh the page. Okay, so it looks like I got sample page, which is a sample page that comes with the default WordPress installation. And if I go to the admin and I create a new page, it should automatically show up there when I here's the pages. When I refresh the page, it should automatically show up. So you got sample page in here. I'm gonna add a new page, and here it is, add new. That's not working. Hang on, I'm gonna pause the video just a moment. Okay, it seems to be working now. When I click on the add new button, it'll allow me to add a new page. Now for that page, I'm just gonna call it second page. This is just a second page, and that's good enough. Just for example, to see if everything's working, I'm gonna add a new page, and I'm gonna add a new post for the uncategorized category. Actually, I'll just add the new page. I'm gonna refresh. Okay, so it looks like we got sample page, we got second page, and we got this word pages came out of here for some reason. And this function, it outputted two list items over here, one for the uncategorized category, and then it outputted the word categories for some reason. Now if we look at our HTML source, if I just blow that up for a minute, you'll see that in my sidebar 1, right where my WP list pages function was, you can see it outputted a list item called pages, and then another list item. It doesn't really look good. It looks kind of broken. I don't really like that it put this word pages here. So let's go to the WordPress list pages function. So if we go back to this function, you'll see it takes an optional set of parameters, and the parameters, one of them that we want is called title li. This sets the title, and if you set it to an empty string, it says that it totally ignores the title completely. So we're gonna do that. So the way that you do that is by passing in that to here, but it's got to be as an array. So I'm just gonna quickly look up arrays here on W3 Schools. Here it is. So that's what we want right there. We want to pass in an array like that, and we want to make it so that title li is equal to nothing, and that should get rid of the title for us. So if we paste that in here and get that to empty, that should get rid of the title on the pages output. So I'm going to put that on the server, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh and see what that did. Yeah, it did get rid of the title. So now we just got sample page and second page. Now if we look at the source of that, you can just see it's two list items. One list item here and another list item here. So that's stylable. We can work with that. Just got to create an unordered list or an ordered list, and then put that content in between. So over here, how do we get rid of this categories? Probably the same way, I'm thinking. Let's try this out. WP list categories. Let's see what title li. So it takes a title li as well, and I bet you if we set that to 0, that will get rid of the unexpected stuff. So I'll save that and I'll put that on the server and see what that does. Now if I refresh my blog, there we go. Okay, so on the left we got all of the pages in a list. On the right we got all of the categories in a list. Just to make sure, sidebar 2, yeah, that's a list item. There's only one category right now, so that's why there's only one item. So what we want to do is we want to put that inside of unordered lists for both of those, and then we want to style those lists. So back in Dreamweaver, we can probably create an unordered list here, and after the function, close the unordered list. And in sidebar 2, we can create an unordered list, and after the function, we can end that list. And if we upload that, and then refresh, we should be able to look at the source code and see if that's correct. Now another way to correct your HTML is to use the W3C validator. I do it every now and again. You just type W3C validator and then you paste in the URL of your website and you hit the check button, and it'll check. This document was successfully checked and it passed. Here's the result, it passed. So there's no broken HTML on the page. So far we got a website, a blog. We have a blog that validates. That's good. And maybe that's all you want on your blog. Maybe you just want a header, and you want the pages listed, and you want the categories listed. The categories actually has a nice little feature that lists off how many items are inside of that. Is this the categories page? Yeah, it is. List categories. Okay, the categories has something else that I want to use. We want to use show count. That will show the count, the number of items inside that category. So if we go back to Dreamweaver and put a comma here and put show count, and then equals, less than sign, or greater than, or whatever, and then we set that to 1. That should actually show the count, the number of posts in that category. So I'm going to put that and see how that looks. Yeah, that's perfect. So now you get in brackets right beside the list item, you get a number 1, which signifies that there's one post in that category. So that's a nice little feature to have. Okay, the next thing we want to do is break apart our template. We want to break apart our template. No, we want to put the page title. Yeah, we got to get rid of this untitled document. So first things first, just put the name of your website up at the top. That's what I like to do. And then I like to put a bar, one of those little vertical bars. And then WordPress has a function for getting the title of the web page based on which page you're on. I think it's called WP get title. I'll check that. WP get title. Get the title. Not that one. WP title, probably the one. Yeah, this is the one we want. So this does different things. WP underscore title does different things based on some parameters here. But we're just going to use the default usage. So I'm going to break into PHP, and then I'm going to put WP title, and then I'll break out of PHP. So I'll upload that and see what that does on the home page. It might not even do anything on the home page. Yeah, it didn't do anything on the home page, so it just says Hot Girls Tub at the top. If I click on sample page, there, now you can see that the title was set to sample page, and if I go to source, you'll see that it put sample page here. If I go to the second page, you can see that second page was put up there. So it is actually getting some information. The next thing we're going to want to do is, in our content area, we're going to have to put something here called the WordPress loop. The WordPress loop is a loop that displays all the information for the content on whatever page or post that you're viewing. I'm just going to pause the video here and get the code for that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so searching for WordPress loop leads me over to the WordPress codex again. And on this page, down about a quarter ways, it says this is using PHP as alternative syntax for control structures and could also be expressed as. So this block snippet right here is the WordPress loop. So I'm going to go back to Dreamweaver and I'm going to paste that, break into PHP. Oh, I don't even have to, because it's in the paste. Okay, so that it says if have posts, while have posts, and then it says post. So I'm going to save that and see what that does. Okay, we put that up on the website. Now we'll refresh. Okay, didn't get anything there, but if we go to sample page, no, didn't get anything there either. I'll pause the video and do a little bit of research. Okay, so after doing some research, it looks like I found out a real nice way for putting in your loop. You can pause the video here and copy this stuff down. I don't have anywhere that it's that you can copy and paste it from, but basically inside my content div I have PHP while have posts, the post, and then I have an h1 tag, and then I'm using this function here called the permalink. The permalink is just a link that links directly to that post, and then over here I'm using another tag called the title, and what I'm doing there is I'm just putting the title of the post for that link. Now I got another line here called written by. I create another paragraph and I put written by, and then I use this tag called the author to get the author. So that works, and forgot a semicolon there. Now for the time, I'm just echoing out the time, so you can use that function as well. And then post it in the category is what I'm using here. You can use that if you want to. Now the content of the post, the meat of the post, is I create another paragraph and I use this function called the content, and that gets the content. The tags are just tags that if you tagged your post with keywords, that'll show up any keywords, and then it ends the loop right here, end while. So let's upload that on the website, put that there, and see what that does. I already tried this while the video was paused, so that's why it kind of looks like it's already been done. Yeah, so on the main page it just says hello world. It's written by admin on June 19th 2013, and it's posted in uncategorized. So if I go to uncategorized, we should see the same thing. hello world. If we go to second page or sample page, it will actually get the content for those pages written by admin, sample page. So that's what the WordPress loop does. And now we want to break up our theme into separate files so that we can start getting a little bit precise and how our blog is gonna look. So the way that you want to break up your index page into a header, a left sidebar, a right sidebar, and a footer. So I'm gonna do that right now. Inside of my theme, I'm gonna create a new file and I'm gonna call it header.php. Create another file called footer.php. Create another file called sidebar.php. And then because we also have a right sidebar, I'm going to create an r_sidebar.php. Now in the index page, we're going to want to take the header. In order to create our header file, our header stops right there. You can see it says end header. So all of this is for the header file. So I'm going to cut that, put that into the header file, erase whatever's in there, save it. Now for the sidebar 1, I'm going to cut that out of there and put that into sidebar.php, get rid of this stuff, save it. And I'm going to skip over the content and do sidebar 2. So there's sidebar 2, right sidebar. Get rid of all this stuff, paste that in there. And then what's left is the footer. So get rid of the footer and put that into the footer. Whoops. Put that into the footer. Now in our index file, we're going to have to actually include all of those pieces in order to get our page working again. So I'm breaking the PHP get header. It's one of the WordPress functions. And then we want to get sidebar. Get sidebar. So these are built-in functions into WordPress. Get header will actually go out and find header.php and include that. Get sidebar, spelled wrong. Get sidebar will go out and get the sidebar.php and include that. And then get footer will actually go out and get the footer. So we're missing one of our sidebars. WordPress doesn't have a function built into it for including the side to right sidebar, so I'm going to actually just do a PHP include here for that one. So it's r_sidebar.php. Okay, so that should, if we upload our theme again, the entire directory, just to make sure that all the files are going, I'll upload it, and then we'll see what kind of, see how the blog looks now, if it's changed at all. Okay, it looks exactly the same. And then I'm going to run it through the W3C validator to see if all the HTML markup is good too. Looks like we got an error, one error. On line 26, column 4, the end tag for a P element which is not open. So that must be in here. Line 26. Okay, if we show the source and then hit revalidate, it'll actually tell you exactly which line it's on. Line 26. Oh, the content. Okay, so the content has 2 end tags for some reason. I don't see it here though. I'm only getting 1. No, I'm only getting the 1. I'm gonna actually maybe if I get rid of this closing tag right here and save that, we'll see what that does. Okay, there you go. It's working now. So there must be a P tag somewhere inside of one of the files that's causing that problem. Anyway, it's fixed now. So the entire page validates, and that's the first step. Okay, so we want to start customizing how our blog displays pages, and how, because I'm going to go to my admin directory and create some post data. I'm going to delete the default post. Hello world, I'll trash that. And for the pages, I'm going to trash all the pages. Okay, so for the pages, we're going to create 3 pages. Real quick here, just to get something going on our blog. First page. This is just a first page for the blog. Publish that. Add another one. Second page. This is just a second page for the blog. And we'll create one more just for good measure. Third page. This is the third page of the blog. And then in posts, we'll first create some categories for these posts. So we're going to call this articles. Articles. There's one. And I'll get rid of this. I guess you can't. Okay. Add new. No categories. News, articles, and we'll just call this web stuff. Okay. So if we go back to Hot Girls Tub and see how it looks, you'll see there's no categories because there's no posts, but first page, second page, and third page all showed up. And you can see that these pages are looking pretty good, but we can customize them a bit more. This theme's just about done. Again, if you don't want these bullets here, you can use style sheets, and you can You could style that list so it doesn't have the bullets, and you can change the link colors and all that stuff using style sheets. So we're going to create a post here into the articles category and see what happens. Okay, now if I refresh the page, you'll see that uncategorized. Oh yeah, I forgot to select the category for it. Over here we want it to be in articles. So I'll update that. And that's the miracle of WordPress. You can just update something and refresh the page and it's already changed. Okay, so there we go. We got the articles page loading. This is an article post. Now you might be wondering why my URLs show up the way they are, category articles, and if I go to my first page, it actually says first page up at the top, third page actually says third page, because if you're into SEO and you go down to your WordPress blog settings, you go down to permalinks, you can change how the URLs are displayed if you use a custom structure. And I got %category %/%postname %/. So if you actually use this inside of your WordPress blog, you actually get SEO friendly URLs on all your posts and your pages. So you can go ahead and make this change on your blog if you want. Now WordPress also, like, your theme really is done right now, but there's a little bit more customization you can do. You can create a page.php that will transform any pages the way that you want the page to look, or you can create a single.php for single posts, and all you'd have to do is just include this stuff here, and then in the middle, the content stuff, change how you want a single post to look. All of the WordPress functions that you'd want to use are available on WordPress.com. So if there's, you can just type WordPress loop functions, and if you come in here, so you got the title, the time, the category, all these things that you can use inside of your loop. Okay, to further customize your blog, you're going to want to create some other files for your blog. One of them is single.php. So I'm going to search Google, and you can see it on the theme development page. You'll have a link here to single.php. Here they are. So you can create a single.php to style and display your single posts. I'll do it real quick just to show you. I'm going to copy my index.php, copy, close that, and I'll create a new page called single.php. Now this file will be used only, I'm going to paste that in there. So we're going to use our index page as a template for our single.php. Now in here, you can add and change the code for however you want your single posts to appear. So when somebody clicks on a single post on your blog, I'll just put another paragraph on here. This is a single post page template. And if I save that and upload that, you'll see that when I go back to my WordPress blog, refresh it, and then I click on a single post, like this third page is a single post. So if I click on the title, when it links to that single post, you'll see that it's actually going to use single.php for that. hang on, in my articles I mean. This is an article post. Yeah, there you go. So if we click on that and go to the article post, you'll see this is a single post page template. This text appears only on this page. So you can go through the WordPress functions again and add or remove information that you want only for this single. Now on the pages, you might want little or more information to appear on them as well. So you want to create, back here you could see we have pages, page.php. So you want to copy all this again and create a page.php. page.php. Inside of your page.php, you can put this is for a single page template and save that, upload that. Now if I go back to my blog and refresh, because we're on a page, you can see that this is a single page template text now appears. And you can see it's not using index anymore. It's actually using page.php. So you can change that template any way you want for your pages. And if you go back to your articles and you go back to this is an article post, this is back to a single post, and you can see that this is a single post page template appears. So WordPress really is using those template files on your blog, and you can style and create anything that you wish. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial on WordPress.